Some people might not know it, but there are quite a few characters in One Piece who were inspired by real-life pirates, whether it's someone as obvious as Blackbeard or someone random. Many of the characters have historical roots that make One Piece that much more fun. In this video, I will explain the stories behind the series and some of the real pirates who populate One Piece. But before we start this video, please smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and click notification bell, or you will miss future anime videos. Iron Mace Alvida is the former captain of the Alvida Pirates, and the first antagonist encountered by Luffy on his journey after going to sea. Due to her actions, she can be regarded as the secondary antagonist of the Romance Dawn arc and the tertiary antagonist of the Logatown arcs. Alvida is likely based on the legendary figure Wilda, who is believed to have been a pirate who became the Queen of Denmark. Many historians question the veracity of a Wilda story, however, and she's widely considered a legend rather than a historical person. Jewelry Bonnie, also known as the Big Eater, is a pirate and the captain of the Bonnie Pirates. She and her crew originated from South Blue. She is one of 12 pirates who are referred to as the Worst Generation. Bonnie is based on the real-life pirate Anne Bonny. Anne Bonny was a famous female pirate who was active during the 18th century. Although she was born a noblewoman, she ended her life as a pirate. Charlotte Linlin, better known as Big Mom, is the captain of the Big Mom Pirates and was formerly one of the 4 emperors ruling over the New World. She is also the matriarch of the very large Charlotte family, whose many children make up the infrastructure of her crew. Although this information is not confirmed, One Piece author Ichiro Oda appears to have taken inspiration for Big Mom's character from the famous real-life pirate Charlotte Badger. However, according to some historians, she erroneously became known as a pirate while she was just a convict on board a ship during this mutiny. Rorano Zoro, also known as Pirate Hunter Zoro, is the combatant of the Straw Hat Pirates, one of their 2 swordsmen, and one of the 9 senior officers of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Formerly a bounty hunter, he is the 2nd member of Luffy's crew, and the first to join it, doing so in the Romance Dawn arcs. Surprisingly, Zoro is also based on a real-life pirate named Francois Elalines. Zoro's surname is based on the Japanese pronunciation of the pirate captain. Francois Elalines was a famous pirate who was active during the 1660s. Marshall D. Teach, most commonly referred to by his epithet Blackbeard, is the captain turned admiral of the Blackbeard Pirates, currently one of the 4 emperors. He is also the only known person in history to wield the powers of 2 devil fruits. Marshall D. Teach was inspired by the most famous real-life pirate, who was in fact named Blackbeard. However, the name of the real-life Blackbeard was Edward Teach, so Oda used the last name of the real-life pirate for Blackbeard in One Piece. This gave rise to Marshall D. Teach instead of Edward Teach. Bellamy the Hyena is the former captain of the Bellamy Pirates and a former member of the Don Quixote Pirates. After the Dressrosa arc, he retired from piracy and became a dyer. You don't get much further from the source than One Piece's Bellamy the Hyena stands from his namesake New England's Black Sam Bellamy, where Oda's character is cruel, vindictive, and arrogant. Less so post-time skip. The real Sam Bellamy was sort of a Robin Hood figure. He saved his hatred for the Navy, specifically the British Navy, because of their habit of pressing young men into service. Basil Hawkins is an infamous pirate from North Blue known as the Magician and the captain of the Hawkins Pirates. He is one of 12 pirates who are referred to as the Worst Generation. Basil likely comes from Basil Ringrose, an English buccaneer and author. Hawkins can be linked to John Hawkins, a 17th century British naval commander. It's also related to the protagonist of the famous fictional pirate tale Treasure Island. Lafitte, nicknamed Demon Sheriff, is the Navigator, Chief of Staff, one of the 10 Titanic captains, and captain of the 5th ship of the Blackbeard Pirates. He is also a former West Blue policeman known for countless acts of police brutality, which resulted in his exile from that sea. Lafitte is based on Jean Lafitte, who used to be a protector of law at one point in his life. However, he couldn't contain his hunger for action and money, so he decided to become a pirate. Jean Lafitte was active during the 1800s. Red Flag X Drake is the captain of the Marine Secret Special Unit Sword. In order to go undercover as a pirate, he publicly defected from his position as Rear Admiral and founded the Drake Pirates. He is one of 12 pirates referred to as the Worst Generation. He is very likely based on Sir Francis Drake, who was an English pirate and a well-known explorer of the Elizabethan era. Eustace Captain Kidd is a notorious pirate from South Blue and the captain of the Kidd Pirates. He is one of 12 pirates who are referred to as the Worst Generation. During the time skip, Kidd lost one of his arms in a confrontation against one of the 4 emperors, Shakes. Kidd and his crew briefly joined forces with the Straw Hat Pirates and Heart Pirates during the Sabaody Archipelago arcs. He also becomes an ally member of the Ninja Pirate Mink Samurai Alliance during the Wano Country arcs. Eustace Kidd's surname has been taken from Eustace the Monk, who was a French pirate that was known as a mercenary. The name Kidd was inspired by a Scottish pirate known as William Captain Kidd, who was executed for his piracy. Yorkie is a famous pirate from before the events of One Piece. Fans know him through Brook, who was once part of Yorkie's crew. Yorkie was the captain of the Rumber Pirates and went by the nickname Calico Yorkie. The Calico part of his nickname likely refers to Calico Jack. Born as John Rackham, Calico Jack was an English pirate captain who was active during the early 18th century. He mostly operated in the Bahamas and around Cuba, where he amassed his pirate fortune. Notably, he also met the pirate Anne Bonny. Cavendish of the White Horse, also known as the Pirate Prince, is a famous super rookie and the captain of the Beautiful Pirates. After the final battle against Don Quixote Doflamingo, Cavendish decided to pledge his loyalty to Monkey D. Luffy and became the captain of the first ship of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. His inspiration is likely Sir Thomas Cavendish, a famous English explorer and privateer that became known as the Navigator. Thomas Cavendish is known as one of the early navigators who successfully circumnavigated the globe in the late 1500s, an expedition that made him rich from captured goods. Trafalgar D. Water Law, more commonly known as just Trafalgar Law, and by his epithet as the Surgeon of Death, is a pirate from North Blue and the captain and doctor of the Heart Pirates. He is one of 12 pirates who are referred to as the Worst Generation. He became one of the 7 warlords of the sea during the time skip, but his position was revoked for allying with the Straw Hat Pirates. Law, like many other pirates, dreams of finding the One Piece, while also desiring to know the purpose of the Will of D, while the inspiration for this character's name is the famous Battle of Trafalgar. The creator of the anime revealed that the name is also derived from Edward Lowe, a British pirate who was well known for his cruelty. On the flip side of the Bellamy's is Bartholomew Kuma, named in reference to Bartholomew Roberts, a much more mysterious and less benevolent real-life pirate. In One Piece, Kuma is a giant of a man who, despite his checkered past, seems to adhere to a fairly strict moral code and even asks his victims where they like to go before he sends them away with his power. Bartholomew Roberts, on the other hand, was cold and calculating, never hesitating to take on a ship with superior firepower, leading to an impressive record of over 400 ships plundered. Sadie is a chief guard of Impel Down. She always wants to be addressed as Little Sadie, her inspiration from Sadie the Goat. She is one of the more bizarre pirates. She worked the riverfront in New York City in the mid-19th century after starting out as a pickpocket, and she got her nickname because her preferred method of attack was headbutting men in the stomach. She made the switch from street crime to piracy after tangling with a bouncer at a particularly seedy tavern called the Hole in the Wall. The bouncer in question was a woman named Gallas Mag, and she had a tendency to bite off people's ears, so she bit off Sadie's and put it in one of her jars. Later, after her piracy days were over, Sadie got the ear back and wore it around her neck for the rest of her life. He may have given up his pirate days to become the head chef of Barati, but he was nevertheless known as Redleg while he was the captain of the Cook Pirates. Zeph is Sanji's mentor who taught him everything he knows about cooking. Zeph's inspiration likely comes from Redleg's Greaves, a Scottish buccaneer who was active in the Caribbean and West Indies during the 1670s. Greaves was considered a successful pirate during his time, but a lack of historical records suggests he may have been fictional. Silvers Rayleigh, also known as the Dark King, is an extremely powerful and famous retired pirate who formerly served as the first mate of the legendary Roger Pirates, being known as the right hand of the Pirate King. He is one of the major figures, along with Whitebeard, Shiki, Monkey D. Garb, Sengoku, Churu, and Kong from the times when Gall D. Roger the Pirate King was still alive. Rayleigh is very likely based on the Englishman Sir Walter Raleigh, who is known for his efforts to bring tobacco usage into the mainstream and English society. He's also reminiscent of John Silver from Treasure Island. Edward Newgate, more commonly known as Whitebeard, was the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates and was widely known as the strongest man in the world and the man closest to One Piece. Whitebeard's first name was been taken from Edward Teach, aka Blackbeard. His last name is from the famous Newgate Prison, which was a notorious prison in London known for imprisoning many infamous pirates during the historical golden age of piracy. Gall D. Roger, more commonly known as Gold Roger, was a legendary pirate who, as captain of the Roger Pirates, held the title of Pirate King and owned the legendary treasure known as One Piece. He was also the lover of Port-Gas D. Rouge and the biological father of Port-Gas D. Ace. Roger is likely based on the real-life pirate Olivier Levasseur, who likewise challenged others to find his own legendary treasure. To this day, it still hasn't been found. Another inspiration is Henry Every, a 1600s pirate whose deeds earned him the title King of Pirates, and inspired figures such as Blackbeard. Rox D. Xebec is one of the most mysterious characters in the One Piece series. He was Roger's mightiest opponent and the leader of the Rox Pirates, an infamous group that included Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom, the three future Yonko. The world government feared Xebec to the point that, after his defeat, they erased every trace of his life. Xebec was an outstanding individual. To end his era, the joint efforts of Roger, the King of Pirates, and Garp, the strongest Marine, were needed. While the precise extent of his powers is unknown, the fact that no one could match him individually makes his strength indisputable. Rock's name has most likely been taken from real-life pirate Roche Brasiliano, which in English translates to Rock the Brazilian. Brasiliano was a Dutch buccaneer who started as a privateer and became an outlaw after leading a mutiny. He was a violent man who would shoot anyone who did not drink with him and treat his prisoners barbarously.